Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing the thoughts I have in my brain about history curriculum. All right, guys, so I did not know I had this issue until I realized that my daughter is going into the 3rd grade and we do not have a history curriculum. We have been doing a social studies curriculum with Amazing Africa, but we are more than halfway done, right? And my concern is, what do I do once we are done? And it's been freaking me out. So as I've been going down this video rabbit hole on YouTube, watching all of these history curriculums, I realized that there are ways to teach history, and one of them I have an issue with, and that's probably why I think one of the reasons why I'm homeschooling. So I'm going to read you these 2 ways to teach history. One of the approaches is called a thematic approach. So I'm going to read this to you. A thematic approach eschews a linear progression through history. Instead, it favors a holistic look at the movements, events, people, and ideas that have shaped the world throughout time. A thematic curriculum is divided into units. Each unit has a theme, and the content can be taken from any period history that the class covers. So I'm not a fan of thematic, which is what public schools do. And another reason, which is what Core Knowledge does. And that's why I'm not doing Core Knowledge. I know it's free, I know it's great, but with a thematic approach, the first thing that my kids would be introduced to in regards to their ancestors is that they were slaves. The first thing that their cohorts would be exposed to is that my children were slaves, and that is not the truth. I prefer my children to understand slavery from a world view, and that's why I am leaning towards, not even leaning, like the approach that I like is the classical approach. So I'll read you this approach. So the classical approach, or the chronological approach, would be, the chronological approach is exactly what its name implies: the study of history from one point in time to another point in time. This means that one history class might cover 200 years of American or world history, while another class might cover thousands of years from the Stone Age to the medieval period. I'm down for that because I don't want my children to think that slavery is just an American thing. And I also don't agree with my children learning about slavery from the standpoint, how do I want to say this? From not a biblical viewpoint either, okay? So now, with all that being said, the curriculums that I've been looking at are Mystery of History, History Quest, History Odyssey, and kind of sort of Story Over the World, okay? So now I know that History Odyssey, or Odyssey History, uses Story of the World. So that might really be what I'm leaning towards. Now, with Mystery of History, I do understand that it comes from a biblical standpoint. And I do want my children to know church history because I want them to know the Bible from I want them to know the Bible from a world point of view, I want them to know the Bible from a Middle Eastern point of view, not an American point of view. And I think that there's a disservice to Americans when we view the Bible through an American lens. A lot of things are misinterpreted. So that's just a whole nother video for a whole nother topic, okay? So that's Mystery of History. I do know that that is Christian, leans towards Christian views, and I just don't know if it I want the facts. I don't want it to give me their thoughts about it, because I don't want someone else's viewpoint of what it means. Now, I do know that certain histories lean towards certain groups of people, but I just want the facts. There is a homeschool, used homeschool curriculum store, and they said that I can come and look through it because I just want the facts. And I also don't mind it talking about Jesus. Okay, so now the other curriculum is History Odyssey. I understand that there's History Quest and History Odyssey by the same people, okay? History Odyssey uses story of the world, which I am a fan of. Some people are saying it's Christian, it leans towards Christianity. Some people are saying it's not. The only real issue with the whole Christian, not Christian topic is the first book. Again, I don't have a problem with Christianity being in the books because I am a Christian. I do think that it's important for my children to learn about other religions. So I don't want something that only talks about Christianity. I want something that talks about Islam and how all of those things come to spread. And I am very aware that History Odyssey, compared with Story of the World, would be great for us. I'm not leaning towards Story of the World just by itself because I feel like the lesson plan books just has too much for me. I can't. Then there's History Quest. So History Quest is appealing to me because I like the lesson plans of it, but I also was thinking about getting the lap book, activity book that comes with Curiosity Chronicles. Now, with that being said, if I'm going to purchase that, why not just stick with History Odyssey? Because History Odyssey uses a pocketbook type activity thing from, can't think of the name, but they have like an interactive curriculum as well. So again, there's History Odyssey, History Quest, and Mystery of History. What am I going to do? Another thing is, right, no matter which history I go towards, I'm going to need to approach U.S. history, right? And I've just been looking at all of them, and none of them do what I want for U.S. history. Now, mind you, we have not started history, so we have ancient, medieval, modern, early modern, or whatever. We have 4 cycles to go through. But in the middle, I'm going to need to pause because I'm approaching history from a worldview, and I'm going to need to do U.S. history. Okay, so then I do U.S. history. I want to approach U.S. history from the Native American, indigenous people's point of view, from the African Americans' point of view, and from the white people's point of view, and from the Asians' point of view, right? Like, I want to just engulf us into everyone's point of view and just have lots of great topics. With that being said, I'm pretty sure U.S. history is going to take us 2 years, right? So then what do? Do I go with Heritage Moms supplement? Do I go with Her Story supplement? Do I go with Freedom supplement? I'm leaning towards Heritage Moms and Her Story. But again, it's going to take us 2 years because I want everyone's point of view. And this is just going to be... History is just going to be a mess. Not a mess, but it's going to be fun. But I also know I can't cover everything in the way that I want to cover it. So what do I lie down and what do I pick up? As for pricing, I feel like History Odyssey or History Quest would be the best pick for me. History Odyssey, I feel like the only thing I would need to purchase would be the encyclopedia that goes with it, the pocket folder book, and then the other supplemental books I can find either through my library or through Hoopla. And then the same thing with History History Quest. History Quest, I'm going to need an encyclopedia, and then there are other books. With History Quest, I do know that it's a 5-day-a-week program. The 5th day, it's enrichment. So I probably would just stick to the 4 days, and I might even combine it to where we're only doing history 2 days a week. With History Odyssey, the same thing. I think it's they follow like the whole discover, and then each day they, like on a Wednesday is an activity, on the Thursday they're wrapping it up. With History Quest, I do like the concept of the history hop, where they come into contact with someone who lived during that time, and they go and discuss, we go and read about that person's day in a life. And I really like that. And then there's also an activity that goes with it. So basically, I'm stuck between, I'm between Mystery of History, History Odyssey, and History Quest. If you've used any of these 3 curriculums, please leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. I just don't know which one I'm going to get. I really, really think I'm leaning between the 2 secular curriculums, which are History Quest and History Odyssey. But then I lean towards Mystery of History some days, because I don't mind. I really do want them to learn church history, and I want them to learn it through a worldview point of view and through a Middle Eastern point of view, not necessarily an American point of view. Or do I just leave church history to whenever we're, talking about Bible? Yeah. Help a sister out. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Think about subscribing to my channel. Leave your comments, and also come back to the comments if you're looking for a history curriculum as well. Don't forget to drink your water and repent. Bye.